Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the reaction log. Whoa. Alright, we got a special spicy one here for you. I am going to be making fun of other people on the internet. For those of you that might not know, there's sort of a community of guitarists here on YouTube that we've all kind of gravitated towards each other. I'm a little reclusive, I'll admit that. Now, by community, I'm not really active in any community. The only thing I am active with is uploading videos almost every freaking day, editing while in grad school. I'm in grad school, by the way. I just got back from school, actually. But there's a network of guitarists that I've met on YouTube. The notable ones, of course, John Crossley. Go check out his live stream. Brandon Aker. I know none of you know who that is. I'm sure he's desperate for some more subs from Sore Hands, I'm sure. You can even see them in the sidebar. There's Guitar Cody, of course. These are the YouTube classical guitar people, right? Beatrix, that's another one. And there's also a group of people learning classical guitar, one of which is going to be Leo Thom Music with 818 subscribers. I'll post this video in the description if you want to go subscribe to him. But he posted this video, and you know I have to freaking look at this. Like, I rage bait you guys. This is rage baiting me right here. 6 months of self-taught classical guitar. What does that even mean? By the way, let me go ahead and introduce myself in case you're new here. I am a classical guitarist here on YouTube. What does it mean to be a classical guitarist? It means that there kind of is no self-teaching, because classical guitar is a hundreds of year old tradition, and if you're not learning from the tradition being solo concert repertoire for the nylon or acoustic, nylon gut string guitar, whatever you want to call it, if you're not learning that, are you really even learning classical guitar then? Or are you just playing a nylon string guitar and playing your own stuff? You can claim self-taught on that, sure, but if you're learning classical guitar, you probably aren't self-taught. Your teachers might be distant from you, they might not talk to you, they might be dead, but you know, you're still learning from someone. This is a stupid point that I'm making. It doesn't actually matter. Listen, here's the deal. We're gonna listen to Leo play a Carcassi etude. You know the one. It's Opus 60 number 7, I believe, the Perpetual Motion A minor. Let me go ahead and, whoa, Sore Hands actually plays guitar on camera. Holy crap. That one, you guys know the one. It's funny, because I remember when he first started learning it, and it's hard to believe that it's already been 6 months, and I'm pretty sure this is kind of his first big etude or piece that he's learned in its entirety and is going to perform it. So that's kind of special. Also, I read the title of this video too. I'm not actually going to be bullying or making fun of anybody, but I am going to be honest with how I really feel about it and where I think this should be in the amount of time that he said that he's been playing it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this one, shall we?
Happy Music Monday, folks.
Nice zoom in on that. I guess I can go ahead and give you some backstory with Leo. He posts every Monday. It's called Music Monday. It's generally good, wholesome vibes, so if you're interested in that, that can be something for you.
I've been self-teaching classical guitar. I've gotten a lot of help from...
Self-teaching with a lot of help, huh? Very interesting. Also, look at those faces in there. We're like the ghosts of Soren Carcassi in this thumbnail, right?
I even took 1.5 lessons right at the start, but for the most part, I'm entirely self-taught.
We had one meeting. We didn't even talk about Carcassi. I'm pretty sure we just talked about the Beret of 996, what he was playing at the time. So yeah, we can count that as a guitar lesson, which means that you now and forever will be my student. Sorry, it's just how it works. That's how it works with Brandon, too. I will be forever his student. There's nothing I can do about it. So he just has that power over me, and now I have that power over you. You might be wondering what kind of power comes with being someone's guitar teacher. It means that when they die, you get to decide if they go to heaven or if they walk the earth for all of eternity. It's a lot of responsibility, so tread lightly. Anybody I've taught. It's all true, by the way. There's a reason why I look like this. I am the judge, the ultimate judge. Do right by me.
I'm entirely self-taught.
No, you're not.
I want to give a demonstration today of what 6 months of self-teaching classical guitar.
Consistent practice months 1 through 3, spotty practice months 3 through 6. Sounds like you might need some new repertoire if that's what happens. I know I certainly get bored in about 1 to 3 months, especially if you haven't memorized already. Perhaps a Sore etude is next? Oh yeah, you might be wondering, since I'm speaking as if I am a guitar teacher, which I technically am. I'm not taking any students right now, though. It's sort of like one of those religions where only 100 people are allowed into the heaven that they believe in. The seats are full. No more. This is a really weird episode so far. I don't mean to have it seem like I have a god complex or something, but I do. All right.
See how many takes it takes to get something passable.
Dude, just do the classical guitar thing where you just record it separately, punching in individual notes, and then just mime along to it. That's how I would do it. Okay.
What it sounds like to be at about 6 months of self-taught classical. So, let's do it.
Take 3. I appreciate the transparency. It better be good, though. You already did it twice, so I'm expecting perfection now. Whoa, immediately off the bat, so much better than I remember it. These perpetual motion pieces, getting that continuous even flow in notes can be really challenging, and it seems like you're handling it really well, at least in the first measure. I have to pause it after 1 second. That's like a sore hands tradition. Let's keep it going. What did I just hear there? What was that? Boop-a-da-da-do. I've heard of Baroque ornamentation, but that sounded more like Baroque ornamentation, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. That's totally a joke. I'm not in the business of snuffing out creativity, and I think that ornament is something that you did naturally, and it's sort of an expression of just how you are hearing the music. Maybe something that you'd want added in there. It was convenient to play on the guitar. It's an open string slur, and that's good and fine. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't play that. I feel like for me, it's a little off-putting hearing a G natural when we're like so clearly in the key of A minor. Just it gives it this like Aeolian, almost like modal feel. Like kind of like rock music, you know? If I were going to do an ornament like that, I would probably do G sharp, the leading tone of the key. So it'd be like a versus. I think it'll give it less of that modal, like jammy sound and more of harmonic minor, like more what you'd expect in a classical minor tune sound. Of course, it doesn't actually matter, but knowledge is power, and it might be useful to know when it's appropriate to do your ornament there, and then also maybe just not doing an ornament, because again, this is a perpetual motion piece, and it's all kind of fast, and it's already 16th notes. You can add in 30-second notes if you want, but it's certainly not necessary. And again, I'm talking a lot on this point. I will give you an example of something that I do that's kind of ridiculous, but I do it for fun in the right setting. So for the Bach prelude that I'm playing, this one right here, it ends like this. Sometimes when I'm playing informally, like if I'm playing in the Tuesday masterclass, it's just the other grad students and some undergrads. If I play it and I feel like I really killed it, sometimes I'll get excited at the end and I'll do something like... You know, some like silly thing like that. And I know not to do that if I'm in an audition or something and I want somebody to take me seriously, but it's still like fun to play and I feel like it kind of expresses how I'm feeling, so that's important. So I don't know, I feel like that ornament can kind of relate to that a bit. Like obviously if you're doing an audition, I wouldn't do it, but if you were in any other situation, like I don't know, you're trying to have fun making music, making people happy by playing some Carcassi for them, then do that, that's fine. Alright, moving on. Sorry, I didn't mean to harp on that so long. Interesting. So I already harped on this a ton, so I'm just going to briefly say this. I noticed that you did the same ornament twice, and I feel like those ornaments, the purpose of them is to kind of surprise the audience a bit, and it wasn't much of a surprise that second time. So some things that I would maybe consider: the first time, just play it straight as written, and then the second time, add in some ornaments. Maybe try to find other ornaments too. Since you do it on the fourth beat there, maybe like the second beat as well. Doing that, I believe, would just make it very interesting to listen to, rather than hearing the same ornament twice in a row. One time clean, second time, two ornaments on the second beat and the fourth beat. And that second beat ornament's easy to add in. You can try it. So when you play this part here, it feels like it's slowed down a lot there, and I think you could really ease into that retard. Overall, that first section is sounding way better than I last heard it. It sounds smooth, it sounds articulated, it's sounding good. Alright, let's move on. Yeah, the major section is sounding pretty good too. It is losing a bit of the smoothness that I heard in the A minor section. It looks like each finger as you play is sort of reaching down individually. Something that I think will fix the smoothness issue is planting your fingers more than one at a time. And what I mean by that is with the C major chord, P will go down, and then as I'm playing I, I'll plant both at the same time. I think that this is just going to make things more secure in general, because you're putting down multiple fingers and then you can just fire them off. Instead of like individual swoops from your fingers, you just swoop with multiple fingers. So I think it'll just help manage all those fingers if you plant them all at the same time and then play and then plant again. And it's something that I do a lot. All right. So for that section there, all of it was well executed. It was well played. I think you could feel the music a little more though, because it is this really interesting like circle of fifths, like tonic dominant. And I think when we have those more dominant intervals, like we have a minor seventh here and then a tritone here, those are tense. And then it resolves. And then it resolves. And now it's all finally. The last tritone resolving to the dominant of the key, and then we're going to hang out on the dominant. And I guess an easy way to do this is I would just think anytime you see accidentals like that, like if there's an accidental in the interval that you're playing, just play it louder and maybe like hang on to it just for a second. I'm bringing up this kind of nuance and attention to detail because I think you're playing it well, and I think that this is the thing that'll bring it to the next level. If you can really bring out those dissonances, and then when it does resolve, I want to really like feel that like it's this constant roller coaster of tonic and dominant. So I would try to bring that out. All right, moving on. This is the first time I'm really noticing it, but I'm noticing a bit of a gallop in your playing. And what I mean by that is that these are all written as straight 16th notes, which would be, whatever the notes are. I'm not reading it. And what is that coming from? Everything you've practiced up until this point, like until we get to this section, is either tremolo, depending on how you're fingering it, or just IMI or whatever, or it's some kind of string crossing. So you got those don't sound like they have a gallop, but now we're doing slur and then pick notes on one string. The biggest technical thing that you can do right now for this piece is practicing those slurs, making each note extremely even. And whatever you think practicing slow is, cut that in half. I'm talking like bum, dum, dum, dum. And even when you do that slur, try to keep the full body note that you hear when you pluck it as best you can. Versus like, I'm trying to use the edge of my finger to make it sound worse. I'm having a hard time making my slurs sound bad, I'm sorry. Slurs are delicate, you can mess them up really easily. So I would just practice doing that and then keeping them even notes between pick and slur. And I promise you, if you do that for a couple of days, just for like 5 or 10 minutes, your hands will automatically get the feeling for playing those notes even. And that's like the last and the first technical issue that I really noticed. So fixing that, like you're golden after that. So I would really suggest practicing that section very slow and super even with the metronome. Also, I feel like I need to bring this up because this is like something that I hear a lot from people. You could hear everything I'm saying right now, and you could say like, oh, well, it's because it was halfway through the piece and I just kind of lost my concentration. I don't believe in that at all. When you perform things like this in their entirety, the issues expose themselves. And when an issue happens, even if you feel like it was a fluke, even if it like doesn't usually happen when you isolate the part, it's an issue. That's going to come out when you're under pressure, when you need to play through the entire thing. Those are the parts that if you don't address, they will keep sounding like that, even if you can play them in isolation. All right. Also, sorry, I feel like I need to make some jokes. Hey, nice lamp. What do you like, seeing things? What do you can't see in the dark? What are you, stupid? I don't know. Nice fish hat. Fish hat. What do you like, fish? Hey, nice cloth texture on the wall. What do you live in some German house or something? Okay. I would also really pay attention to those E's there. You're playing a lot of E's there in a row, and that can get really grating. And I think something that can help break up the monotony of that E is to, again, feel the tension and release. I'll try to do this. You can even play it by itself to really hear the bottom, bottom. And I'm trying to not give that much attention to the E because it's literally the most boring part of the music, so don't accent it. Give the most attention to that descending line there, because that's what you really want to hear. That's the music, you know? This E is just a drone. It's just an effect. You don't want to give attention to an effect. The point of an effect is that it just sort of fills things out. And in fact, maybe an easy way to just go ahead and practice that, just play that line where the notes that aren't E are louder than all the E's. So I'm going to play like F loud, D sharp loud, D natural loud, soft, C loud, B, you know, versus the opposite. It sounds stupid when I do that, right? So I would say don't do that. You know, it's just coming out a lot. All right. Yeah. The least practiced part, of course. That's always how it is. Everybody experiences that. I experienced that. Guess what the least comfortable part of my prelude is? It's the last two lines. And this is probably the last part that you learned, part that you play the least, I'm sure. If you want to go ahead and remedy that, this is the first thing you work on going forward. Whatever you did with the first 8 lines, do that with this part for the next couple months, and it'll all be smooth. It'll all be really good. Always push forward with the music. Don't just keep playing the stuff you're already good at, because you are already good at that first part. That section is very similar to the first section where I said that there was all that pushing and pulling. Same advice there, but learn it as well as you know the first section, because you definitely know the first section better than that. Also, just a little like basic advice, try not to mess up the second to last note or the last note, even worse. Most people, when they're listening to classical guitar, they're going to hear the first couple notes, the last couple notes, and then they're going to check out during the middle part. So I would really practice that ending. Practice that ending as much as you practice the first and make it just perfect, which you already have for the introduction, because when you played the intro to this piece, it was like shocking how much better it was since the last time I heard it. It's like, it's clean, it's smooth, it's really nice. And then as this piece goes on into the sections you're less familiar with, I'm hearing a little more of like, you know, how the first section used to sound 6 months ago or 5 months ago or whatever. So like I said, I think the intro is a few months ahead. Really go into the ending. And again, this is advice that like I need to follow too, because it's fun to play stuff that you already know. But that is how you finish a piece like this. Like I would even say you could abandon the beginning of this piece and just work on these later sections. In the beginning will suffer a bit, but you'll get it back so fast because you can already play it once all these other sections are raised up to where the beginning was. So, you know, that's the main takeaway. I'll give my final thoughts after this. Nice. So let's actually talk about that ending. This is kind of unimportant, but it's a little important when you're playing such stuffy classical music. The way it ends matters a little bit. So what you did was you played it. So your finger's still on the note, and then you gave out the sigh, indicating that your body is done with the piece, but your hands are still playing, like the note is ringing. So the piece is still going on, kind of, but you've walked away from it. So it's like, it's just weird as an audience member watching that. What I would do is play it, cut it off, give it a moment, and then sigh, letting your hands drop and all that. Again, it might seem silly, but you are playing classical music and showing off what you got, and I am just a classical guitarist telling you what I know. Overall, I think you should be very proud of this performance, because it was quite good, especially for only 6 months of just playing classical guitar. I don't care how long you played non-classical guitar before playing classical guitar. It's so different from anything that you play, and I'm saying that from experience. I was like a shredder metalhead before I started playing classical guitar, and I went from feeling like a guitar god to being a baby, like a crying, sniffling baby, going to play for anyone and my hands are just like shaking like this, and it's like, what is wrong with me? This is not who I am. Like, I'm good at guitar, I thought, but classical is just a whole different instrument, and it's harder. The precision required to play classical guitar is so crazy between both hands. Like, I don't care what other instruments you throw in front of me. Piano, you just mash your fingers into it. Like, cats sound good on piano when they walk across them. It's easy to sound good on piano. Any woodwind, anything like that, it's all just pushing buttons. It's all like, you can just slap your finger. And you can see it in like professional woodwind players too. Like, it's sometimes I feel like they're just smacking their fingers around because all they have to do is just hit the key. And you don't have to work on this extremely precise motion that you have to do with your fingers because you're literally aiming for like nothing. And just fractions of a millimeter difference goes from sounding like heaven to just sounding awful. Like, it's so hard. So yeah, regardless, like, you were able to play Carcassi, Opus 60 number 7, after 6 months, and what, like a couple more months on those sections that are a little spotty right now, and you'll be playing this thing at like a pretty decent level. So yeah, I would pursue that. And then like so many other pieces become available to you after you can play this really well. Like, I would consider maybe going into some Soar. If I could suggest anything, maybe like Soar Opus 35 number 17, the one in D major. I hope I got the numbers right there. That one's very harmonic. It's like the harmonic circle of fifths parts that I mentioned, the tension release, but like sort of through the whole thing. It's slower and it's really pretty, and I think that that would be a really good next piece for you. And for anybody, like if you're looking to start classical guitar, especially if you played guitar before, Carcassi, good starting place. It's hard though. Like, it'll take like a year to learn, probably, like really well. Like, it's tough. There's probably easier stuff to learn too, but once you're able to play something like this, it really opens up a lot of doors for music that you can play. And yeah, again, overall, I thought that was really great. Really good progress on that. I love seeing months 1 through 3 is more dedicated practice. I don't like seeing months 4 through 6 being less dedicated. Here's to making months 7 through 9 dedicated as F. And that goes for all of you too. If I've given you a guitar lesson or not, let's make these next 3 months about practicing classical guitar. And you know what? Just because I'm nice, maybe just any kind of guitar. I don't care. Just practice something with conviction. Like, what do you do all day that is more important than guitar? Do you scroll Instagram? Do you watch TV, play video games? Do you get drunk? You think any of that is a better decision than just hunkering down, practice for a couple hours a day, slow, and just get really familiar with some great music? You really think you're going to regret doing that? Man, I really wasted these last 3 months of dedicated practice. Yeah, right. Get out of here. You'll be so happy with yourself. Once again, good job, Leo. It's sounding really good. Way better than when I first heard it. All of it sounding way better than when I first heard it. So I'd like to hear it again in another 6 months, and I expect all of it to be that much better. Hey, and you know what? Just a little idea. If you guys like this kind of video, maybe this will be something that I do where if you are learning a piece, especially if you're more on the beginner side and I actually have advice to give you, because of course, if I'm watching somebody who's like as good as me, I don't know, just keep practicing it longer. But with something like this, I can very easily tell you how to get better. If you do take the time to actually upload a video of yourself playing it, and you email it to me, or like put like Sore Hands react to this in the title, I'll consider reacting to it. If this video turned out well, and if this seems like a fun thing to do, this is kind of a nice alternative to giving guitar lessons, because I get to make content, which is like, that's why I don't give guitar lessons, because I spend so much time doing this. It's already, I don't know how long this video has been, but I've been filming for 1 hour and 6 minutes. So I get my content, you get some advice from me, and maybe some free subscribers if it's a YouTube channel that you do, and that could be good. All right. I've been at this long enough. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. There's going to be more jokes next time. I'm going to react to some Marty Schwartz or some Rick Beato video. I'm going to be goofing off the whole time. Sorry if I got a little too serious in this one, but this is important stuff to do, so I want to do it. Anywho, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, want some guitar lessons? I already gave you the whole guitar lesson spiel. You know what to do. But if you want some online classical guitar weekly lessons, I do know grad students who are taking students who are very good. Can't get something this slick at Rootin's Delight, but you can get a sweatshirt and some stickers. So, you know, check out all that stuff. Check out the other videos, of course. And yeah. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.